ابنا انا میں پہلے ابن نبی بھی ہیں، نور ابن نور ہیں، کل قرآن بھی ہیں، قرآن کی نظر میں حب قرآن بھی ہیں۔ دورے پدر میں فوج کے سردار آپ بھی، اور جوانان جنت کے سردار آپ بھی، خلیفہ بھی ہادی بھی سید تھے آپ بھی، تھے مسلم لشکروں کے سردار آپ بھی۔ امامت کی ابتدا میں خلافت بھی ساتھ تھی، حالات یوں سنبھالے کہ امت بھی ساتھ تھی، تاریخ دان ساتھ تھے تاریخ ساتھ تھی، امت کے کچھ بڑوں کی توفیق ساتھ تھی۔ 6 ماہ جوں ہی گزرے امت ہی رک گئی، دنیاویت کے ہاتھوں دنیا میں بک گئی، فرمان جاری یوں کیے امت بھی بچ گئی، ایسا لگا حدیبیہ دوبارہ سج گئی۔ فرمان جاری یوں کیے امت بھی بچ گئی، ایسا لگا حدیبیہ دوبارہ سج گئی۔ سچ اجاگر کرنا تھا مولا نے کر دیا، حق روشن کرنا تھا مولا نے کر دیا، امتی دھوکے میں تھے ظاہر بھی کر دیا، مولا حسن نے لکھ کے واضح بھی کر دیا۔ مولا حسن امام رہے 10 سال تک، یہ ذرا سنیں، مولا حسن امام رہے 10 سال تک، مولا حسین امام رہے 10 سال تک، فرمان حسن باقی رہا 20 سال تک، باطل بھی پس پردہ رہا 20 سال تک۔ مولا حسن کو زہر ملا کٹ گیا جگر، زینب سے بھی چھپایا گیا کٹ گیا جگر، نانا کا پہلو مل نہ سکا کٹ گیا جگر، مولا حسن کو تیر لگا کٹ گیا جگر۔ باطل نے سر اٹھایا تو حق کی صدا اٹھی، اور دین کی بقا کی ضمانت تھی جو اٹھی، دین خدا پہ آنچ جب آئی ہے جب اٹھی، دین خدا بچانے بسالے نبی اٹھی۔ دنیا میں کیا ہوا تھا مولا حسن کے ساتھ، قاسم نے کربلا میں بتایا تھا ایک ساتھ، شبیر جو اباویں چن چن کے لائے ساتھ، جگرے حسن کے ٹکڑے جو نہ اٹھ سکے تھے ساتھ۔ So I'll try to translate. Maula Hasan is like his father Ali ibn Abi Talib, and also a son of Prophet. He is light of the eyes of Bibi Zahra and grandson of the Prophet. Of course, he is son of Imam Ali and part of family of the Prophet. This great son of Ali ibn Abi Talib also resembled Prophet. Among the people of Kisa, he is the first one to join the Prophet. And among the sons of Prophet, he is the first son of the Prophet. He is the Noor and offspring of Noor, and he is also complete Quran. In the eyes of Quran, he is also beloved. During the reign of his father, he was also a commander of army. He is also head of youth of paradise. He was caliph, he was sayyid, and he was guide, and was also commander of Muslim army during his own reign. It was 6 months. In the beginning of his imama, the apparent caliphate was also with him. He managed the affairs of Muslims such that Muslims ummah was with him. The history was with him, and the writers of history was with him. And the support of some elders of Muslim ummah was also with him. As soon as 6 months passed by, Muslim ummah halted. They sold themselves in this world for this world. But Imam Hasan issued a decree such that ummah was saved. It looked like even of treaty of Hudaybiyah was revisited. Truth was supposed to be shown, so Maula Hasan did that. The Muslim ummah was in doubt, so Maula Hasan removed the doubt and made it clear by writing it down. Maula Hasan was Imam for 10 years. So was Maula Hussain, also Imam for 10 years. Thus, the decree that Imam Hasan issued remained intact for 20 years. And so the falsehood stayed behind the curtain, kept itself hidden for 20 years. When falsehood raised its head, so the call of truth was also raised. The one who was guaranteed the preservation of religion of Islam also rose at the same time. And it rose every time the religion of God faced trouble. Thus, as always, it is household of Prophet that rose to save the religion of God. What happened to Maula Hasan in this world, Qasim bin Hasan showed in Karbala at once. What Imam Hussain brought back to his camp from the battle of Karbala, from the field of Karbala in his aba, were the pieces of body of Imam Hasan that he could not pick up at once. Sallu ala Nabi.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أحسنتم.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
درود بھیجی محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
پیغام برس رہے ہیں تابوت پر حسن کے، پیغام برس رہے ہیں تابوت پر حسن کے، امت مٹا رہی ہے آثار پنجتن کے، پیغام برس رہے ہیں تابوت پر حسن کے، تابوت سے لپٹ کر قاسم پکارے بابا، تابوت سے لپٹ کر قاسم پکارے بابا، آنسو اہی کے دیکھو نوحے سنو بہن کے، پیغام برس رہے ہیں تابوت پر حسن کے، زینب پکاری بھائی دل ڈوبتا ہے میرا، زینب پکاری بھائی دل ڈوبتا ہے میرا، اگلو نہ دل کے ٹکڑے صدقے گئی دہن کے، پیغام برس رہے ہیں تابوت پر حسن کے، آہر کی ہچکیوں میں شبر نے رو کے چومے، شبیر کا گلا اور بازو بڑی بہن کے، پیغام बरस रहे हैं ताबूत पर हसन के। बाबा के दिल के टुकड़े तूने गिने 72। बाबा के दिल के टुकड़े तूने गिने 72। टुकड़े हजार होंगे कासिम तेरे बदन के। पैगाम बरस रहे हैं ताबूत पर हसन के। तन पर तो है हसन के गोछद गया है सारा। तन पर तो है हसन के गोछद गया है सारा। मोहताज ही रहेंगे शबीर तो कफन के। पैगाम बरस रहे हैं ताबूत पर हसन के। उम्मत मिटा रही है आसार पंजतन के। पैगाम बरस रहे हैं। सलावत।
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'd like to request all of you to recite a Surah Fatiha for the marhumeen of the family who's providing food, lunch this afternoon. Marhumeen of your families and the marhumeen whose names are on this wall with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We are honored to have amongst us today Sayyid Rizwan Rizvi from New Jersey. Sayyid got his initial religious education in Chicago under Sheikh Mukhtar Faizi, and then later on went to Qom for to continue his religious education. Sayyid spent from 2000 to 2006 in Qom and completed his religious education there and obtained a bachelor's in theology and philosophy from Jamiatul Mustafa Al-Ilmiya. Following that, Sayyid left Qom and spent 2 years in Damascus and further got education in the Arabic language and religious aspects. Since then, he has been back in the US, and Sayyid is a resident alim at Masjid Ali in New Jersey and has been serving the community of New Jersey, specifically in US and worldwide through his travels and lectures. I'd like to thank Sayyid for being here amongst us making this long travel from New Jersey to here, being away from your community and your family to be with us during these two days. I want to convey thanks from the board of IFAZ and the community of IFAZ to Syed, and we request Syed to come and visit us again. We have a need, as you can see, in the community. We don't have a resident alim, and we look to scholars like you to come and visit us during these at least important dates and be with us for at least a day or two or three. So please open up your calendar if you can, make time for us, inshallah. We have really benefited from your lecture last night. We got really positive feedback from the youth, adults, and seniors, and we hope to continue to benefit from the lecture today. So I'd like to request Sayyid to come to the minbar with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
رحم الله من قرأ سورة الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وعجزت عن نعته أوهام الواصفين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين وبالقاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نون والقلم وما يسطرون. ما أنت بنعمة ربك بمجنون. وإن لك لأجرا غير ممنون. وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل.
Dear brothers and sisters in Imam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The ayat which I recited for today's discussion are the first four ayat from chapter number 68 from the Holy Quran, known as Surah Wal-Qalam. And in this brief time that I have, obviously this majlis being commemorated for the Wafat of the Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, begins this chapter with one of the abbreviated letters, or known as huruf muqatta'at, by saying Noon وَالْقَلَمِ وَمَا يَسْطُرُونَ مَا أَنْتَ بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ بِمَجْنُونَ. Noon, which we don't know the translation of because it's some of those things which is kept hidden from us, while explaining the concept to those who say Hasbuna Kitabullah, that if you know Hasbuna Kitabullah, the book of Allah is enough for you, then explain to us what Noon means. Then explain to us what Alif Lam Mim means. Then explain to us what any of these huruf muqatta'at mean. And if you say, well, they don't really make any difference in our lives, how are we going to be using that? Then my question is, if you said the book of Allah is enough, and you pray 5 times a day, prove the 5 times salat through this Quran. You won't be able to prove the method of praying through this Quran. Only thing that you can prove is that there's 5 times salat, which is obligatory. With the words such as aqimis salat, with the words such as yuqimuna salat, with the words such as, aqamus salat. But there's no way of explaining the rules and the regulations of salat, which we talked about last night, through this Quran. So this is a bogus claim of saying the book of Allah is enough for us. Hasbuna Kitabullah is a bogus claim. Nobody can say that. The fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this universe, and He has sent this book to us, He did not send it without any hadi or any guide. I like to give this example as a watch that you wear. The watch that you wear, the worth and the value of that watch is as long as it provides the time. Now, I know these days you have smart watches and do a lot of other multiple things aside from providing you the time. But as long as the watch is providing the time, or this wall clock is providing the time, it's got some value. The moment it stops providing the time, then it loses its value. Now you're not going to throw it away because it stopped working. You're going to try and fix it. Maybe batteries have run out. Maybe some other issue is there, technical, which you try and fix. And so that you can get it working again. Especially if the watch that you're wearing or the clock is a very, very expensive watch. It's made by a company which has invested a great deal in making this watch. So it's not a cheap watch. It's a very expensive watch. Therefore, if it's messed up or if there's problem in it, the company says, don't touch it yourself. Bring it to us and we'll fix it. Because if you touch it yourself and you open it up, you lose the warranty on it. When a watch which is not worth that much, if it becomes a little bit expensive, the owners and the creators of it say that don't try and fix it yourself, we know how to fix it. Then this deen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to us, how is it possible for anyone to go ahead and try and explain this deen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He sent this book, He made sure that there are those guides who are there to go ahead and provide us. And therefore, Hasbuna Kitabullah is not a right claim to make. And therefore, we find it is very disturbing that these people went to the extent by saying what? Which is the second part of the ayat that I recited. That ma anta bi ni'mati rabbika bi majnoon. Noon wal qalami wa ma yasturun. By the pen and that which you write with this pen. Ma anta bi ni'mati rabbika bi majnoon. O Rasul, you are not insane by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So at that time, people were calling the Holy Prophet what? Majnoon. They were calling him Sahir, magician, for the miracles that he was producing, the book that he brought. This book that the Holy Prophet brought, everything that was sent to the time was according to the miracle. The reason that Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam ﷺ, when he was born, he said, Inni Abdullah. I mentioned that last night. Because at that time, people considered him to be what? Son of God, because he was born without a father. In the time of the Holy Prophet, it was a different scenario. People were worshipping everything. They were worshipping stones. They were worshipping trees. They were worshipping stars. They were worshipping the moon, Chand and Suraj. They were worshipping all of these things. If Prophet had come and declared himself to be Allah, it would have been easier for people to follow him. People would have believed in him more than the fact that he called himself to be Nabi of Allah and Abd of Allah. That's where the people had problems with him. If he had come and declared to be Allah, he would have had more followers. Because those who follow stones, if someone is able to bring nutq and goyai and guftugu and make the stones speak, do you think they're not going to consider him to be a Lord? People who worship the trees, if a man is able to make and order the tree to move forward and move back, do you think people are not going to follow him and consider him to be Allah? If those who worship the stars and Prophet orders the star to come, it comes down, do you think people are not going to worship him and follow him and consider him as a God? Of course they would. The people who worship this moon, Prophet is someone who split and did shaqqul qamar. Do you think they're not going to consider him to be godly? So it would have been easier for him to call himself to be God rather than a Nabi, because people would have followed him much, much more easy. But the fact that Rasulullah mentioned that he's the Nabi and he brought this religion, right away you see that people start calling him what? They started calling him Majnoon. They started calling him insane. They started calling him Sahir, the magician, with the miracles that he was able to produce. You know, the biggest miracle of the Holy Prophet is what? This book of Allah that is with us. This book is his miracle. You know, every prophet was sent with the miracle of their time. The advancement of medicine in the time of Hazrat Isa enabled that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him extraordinary ability to heal and cure those who are sick. Even bring dead back to life again. Similarly, in the time of Hazrat Musa, you find that people were practicing magic. And therefore, Hazrat Musa was able to defeat their magic with what he did. And in the time of the Holy Prophet, he's not bringing any of those things. But do you think that he doesn't have the miracles of Hazrat Isa and Hazrat Musa? Of course he does. But he doesn't need to use them. Because in that time in Arabia, the best thing or the thing that people took pride in was their language, their Arabic, their prose, and their poetry. So Allah reveals this book to the Holy Prophet, that this book is being revealed to you. This will serve as a miracle to you. Now, how is this book a miracle? You see such ayat as Noon wal qalami wa ma yasturun. You know, the ability of a speaker to keep everyone engaged. Sometimes you have to say some certain things which trigger your mind and they want you to remain focused. Okay, where is he going with this? Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends these ayat which begin with unusual things. The people of Arabia have not heard such things before. So as soon as Prophet says Noon or Alif Lam Mim, right away people are focused. They pay attention, undivided attention. And then Rasulullah explains what he wants to explain. So this is one of the miracles of Quran. The language of Quran is a miracle. In fact, the entire Quran is a miracle. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala challenged these people in Arabia at that time with these verses called the challenging verses, Ayat al-Tahaddi. The first challenge was what? In Surah Baqarah. إن كنتم في ريب مما نزلنا على عبدنا فأتوا بسورة من مثله وادعوا شهداءكم إن كنتم صادقين. If you have slightest of the doubts, what we have revealed unto our servant, then bring forth a book like this and call all your helpers in kuntum sadiqin. So this was the first challenge of Allah. Bring a book like this. You take pride in your prose and poetry, bring a book like this. Let's see if you can compare something which you say. They weren't able to. So Allah said, okay, I'll lower the challenge. This was very difficult to bring a book. I'll lower a challenge. He said in chapter 11, Surah Hud, he says, فَأْتُوا بِعَشْرِ سُؤَرٍ مِثْلِهِ. Bring 10 chapters like the chapters of this Quran. And you want to know another important point on this challenge, that this ayat is in the 11th chapter of Quran. Then it's saying bring 10 chapters like this. What does that tell you? That the tartib of Quran is still in place the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant and how Rasulullah had placed it. In 11th chapter of Quran, the ayat says bring 10 chapters like this. The 10 that have just passed. Of course, they weren't able to do so. Then Allah lowered the challenge even further. He said, فَأْتُوا بِحَدِيثٍ مِثْلِهِ. Quran as to how they were not able to produce anything like the likes of the Holy Quran. So, they said, وَالْقَلَمِ وَمَا يَسْتُرُونَ. I just want to take you a little bit into Quran before we get to our discussion about the Holy Prophet. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
That this surah begins with a huruf-e muqatta'a, or the abbreviated letter Noon. In Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen 29 chapters that begin with these abbreviated alphabets. Some begin with 1, like Noon, like Qaf. Some begin with 2, like Yasin, like Taha, like Hamim. Some begin with 3, like Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Ra. Some begin with 4, like Alif Lam Mim Ra. Some begin with 5, like Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad, Hamim, Ain, Sin, Qaf, and so on and so forth. So he's used from 1 to 5 huruf muqatta'at in the beginning of 29 chapters. And so, well, how many alphabets are there? How is it that we can remember the alphabets that are used in huruf muqatta'at? Someone put together a line, easy to remember, so that you would know all the alphabets that are used. There are these 14 alphabets that are used out of 28 in Arabic language. What are those 14? If you remember this line, then you will remember what these 14 alphabets are. It says, Siratu Aliyin Haqqun Numsikuhu. Path of Ali is Haqq, and we hold on to that path. So Sirat, Swad, Ra, Alif, Ta. Ali and Lam, Ye. Haqqun, Ha and Qaf. Numsikuhu, Noon, Mim, Sin, Kaf and Ha. These are the alphabets that are used for huruf muqatta'at. Someone put it in one sentence, so you and I can remember the sentence that the path of Ali is true, and therefore we are on the path of Ali ibn Abi Talib.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So these chapters begin with these huruf muqatta'at, these abbreviated letters, which we don't know the name, which we don't know the meaning of. I explained that already. But you see that a lot of time in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins the surah with a qasam, with an oath. As he does in this ayah. Noon, right away, wal qalam, by the pen. Now you say, where is the word which says by the pen? Or I swear by the pen. Well, the word wow is wawul qasam. That wow is delivering the meaning of what? Qasam. Why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs to swear by something or take an oath by something? Let's see why you and I take an oath. Sometimes we use the word, qasam, and we apply this in our daily speech. Now, our Arab brothers use it more often than we do. They'll begin every sentence with Wallahi, brother. Wallahi, habibi. Wallahi. And well, that does not mean that they're swearing in every sentence, but it's just that this is how they speak. But a lot of time you and I use this qasam as well. Why do we use this qasam? We use this qasam because we want our words to be understood and believed in. Because the person may not have believed in us if we were to just say it without the qasam. The fact that we use qasam is to go ahead and supplement in what we are saying, in making this thing to be truthful so that the person understands and believes in us. But why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala need to use qasam? Does he really need to make us understand and believe in what he's saying? No, he doesn't. So whoever believes, believes. If you and everyone that was on the face of the earth was to disbelieve in Allah, Allah could care less. He's Ghaniyun Hamid. But nonetheless, Allah uses this qasam. What is the purpose behind using this qasam? The reason that ulama mention is so that it shows the importance and the value of that thing which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken the oath by. And therefore you find in Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken an oath by selective things, especially when it comes to different times of the day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken an oath by all the different times that exist. For example, in Quran he said, was-subh. In Surah Takwir it says, was-subh. And then you find wal-fajr in chapter number 89, which I recited yesterday for you. وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ. Then you have, وَالضُّحَى, the morning when the brightness comes about. Then you have وَالنَّهَارِ, the daytime. Then you have وَالْعَصْرِ, the time of Asr. Then you have وَاللَّيْلِ, the time of night. That means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken an oath by all the different times that exist in 24 hours. You say, why is he swearing by different times? He's just trying to tell you how important this time is. Do not squander the time that Allah has given to you. The opportunity that you have, every step that you take is towards your death. Make sure that you're able to use this time properly. That's why it is mentioned that there was a man who used to sell ice. You know, today you want to buy ice, you go to a store and you pick up a bag of ice. But back in the day, those who grew up in India, Pakistan, or Iran, or Iraq, you know, there were people on their carriages, they would be carrying vendors, they would be selling ice. They have this, big block of ice, and they'll break some of it, and then they'll sell it to you by weighing the weight of it. That's how they used to sell ice. This man who was selling ice, he was crying. He said, "Irhamu man yadubu ra'su malihi." Have mercy on someone whose capital and whose investment is melting away. He said, buy it as soon as possible. If you don't buy it right now, it'll melt away. And if the ice is melted, it will not have any value. I would not be able to earn anything from it. Irhamu man yadubu ra'su malihi. Have mercy on someone whose investment capital is melting away. And therefore, what is he trying to tell us? That our lives are same as that capital, if not more important. It is also melting away as we move along, as we progress, as we go along, as we age. This is melting away. And make sure that you're able to use the time properly and you do not squander this time. Salawat bi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajal.
So towards the end of Quran, you find that a lot of these surahs begin with the oath, begin with the swear, we begin with a qasam of some sort that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses. And in fact, majority of these chapters towards the end, they talk about, Qayamat. Because these chapters were revealed in the city of Makkah. And the discussion in the city of Makkah primarily was about what? It was about Ma'ad. It was about the Day of Judgment. It was about Tawheed. It wasn't about anything, akhlaqi so much. It wasn't about Salat so much. It wasn't about all these other obligations that we have. Because that's the time when the foundation is being built. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals this chapter on the Holy Prophet by saying, Noon wal qalami wa ma yassurun. Noon, by the pen and that which you scribe with this pen. Now let's look at it. If I was to ask, today was Sunday school, a lot of Sunday school kids were here earlier. If I was to ask the children that the Quran that you have in your school, the Quran that you have in homes, what is the tartib and the sequence of the surahs? So they will all say, well, the first surah is Surah Fatiha. Second surah is Surah Baqarah. Third surah is Surah Al Imran. Fourth surah is Surah Nisa. Fifth is Surah Ma'idah. Sixth is Surah An'am. Seventh is Surah, we sort of stop at this point, so that's enough. We know about 3 or 4, but now you're just pushing it. No, we have An'am, we have Araf, we have Anfal, we have Tawbah, we have Yunus, we have Hud, we have Yusuf, we have Rad, we have Ibrahim, we have Hijr, we have Namal, and we go on and on. Nahl and so on and so forth. So we have this list of Quran, this list of surah that we have in Quran that is present in all of our houses, even the applications that you have on your phones, that you can see that the ayat and the surahs are listed in this way. Is this the list how Quran was revealed? No. This is not the list how Quran was revealed. This is the list how Rasulullah placed the Quran. So there may be a possibility that the ayat which is found in the 30th juz, and primarily majority of the ayat that are found in the 30th juz were revealed in Makkah. And the ayat that are found in the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth juz were revealed where? In Medina. So how would someone know where to place what? In which sequence to place what? If he or she does not already have the ilm of this Quran from before. The fact that I know something from before, I have the idea, then I'm going to say, okay, place this. For example, I buy a house. I have an idea from before that I want the couch to be over here. That I want, the chandelier to be hanging over here. That I want the bed to be over there. That I want this vase to be over here. That I want curtains to be over here. This is something because I already have the knowledge of. Someone who has the knowledge that which ayah belongs where should already know this. Otherwise, they will not have an idea how to place this Quran. That also proves that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given the knowledge of Quran to the Holy Prophet from the very beginning. And as the ayat were being delivered to him and the revelation was coming, he was placing the ayat according to the knowledge that he already possessed from before. So that's one thing as far as our aqidah is concerned, that the Holy Prophet already knew the sequence of Quran. In fact, the entire Quran had been revealed on his heart on the night of Qadr, and then the Quran was revealed for the period of 23 years onto the Holy Prophet as the events shaped up. So that's one thing. So this sequence that you find in Quran, this tartib that you find in Quran is how Rasulullah placed it. But is that the tartib how Quran was revealed? If I was to ask you what was the first surah or what the ayat that were revealed in Quran, you would all know. The first ayat that was revealed was Iqra, from Surah Alaq, which is chapter number 96 from the Holy Quran. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, khalaqal insana min alaq, Iqra wa rabbuka al-akram, alladhi allama bil qalam, allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. So the first revelation that comes to the Holy Prophet comes in the form of read. I want you to take a guess. What is the second revelation that comes onto the Holy Prophet? After reading? Right. Wal qalam. The ayat that I recited in front of you. Chapter number 68, Surah Wal Qalam was the second revelation on the Holy Prophet. Do you see a sequence over here? What is Quran trying to emphasize? Quran is emphasizing read and write. Make sure that you are educated. Make sure that you're not left behind as far as education is concerned. The book, which is revealed for over 23 years, began the revelation by telling the followers of this religion to make sure that you educate yourself, to make sure that you read, and to make sure that you write. And reading and writing is just that important. Hence we see that the surah that begins with Iqra ends with what? Sajda wajib. There are 4 sajda wajib in Quran. One of them is in chapter number 96. This sajda wajib, I won't recite the ayat, otherwise all of you will have to do sajda right now. But it tells you that Iqra leads to what? Sajda. That when you read and you become educated and you have knowledge, only then you will prostrate in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ilm is something which makes you what? Humble. It brings humility in you, that you're able to put your forehead in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and prostrate to Him 5 times a day. That comes with ilm. And those who do not prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who show istikbar, those who are doing istikbar and yastakbiruna an ibadati, they will enter what? Jahannama dakhirin. I can't remember the ayat of Quran. That those who do istikbar, that those who think that they're too good for themselves, that they will not even ask for any dua and hajat. So we always ask for hajat. But it's unfortunate that our hajat is never accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No. That's not the case, that hajat is not accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is something happens to your hajat, it's just that you don't realize about it. Ulama mentioned 4 possible scenarios when you make a dua in the bargah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you make a dua, either it is accepted or rejected. And there are 2 more things which I'll explain. When it's accepted, for example, you ask for awlad, Allah gave you awlad. But when it's rejected, well, how do you feel? You feel dejected. You feel rejected. You feel that Allah, for example, did your tawheen. ahanan, right? As the ayat of Quran says. When Allah gives them, akraman, that He has honored me. When Allah deprives them, ahanan, Allah has done my ihanat, He's done my tawheen. That's how a person feels that way, right? So we see that either your dua is accepted, so you're good, you're happy. But your dua is rejected. How do you feel? You feel sad. But Imam said, oh Allah, when should I be more thankful to you? When you accept my dua and fulfill it, or when you reject my dua? Imam says, I should be more thankful when Allah rejects my dua. Because when He accepted my dua and fulfilled it, He did what I wanted. When He rejected it, He did what He wanted it. And I would rather have the want and the wish of Allah over the want and the wish of myself. And then there are two more scenarios. Your dua is accepted, but Allah gives you something else instead of what you had asked for. Because He's your creator. He knows what is good for you and what is not good for you. Asa an takrahu shay'an wa huwa khairun lakum. Asa an tuhibbu shay'an wa huwa sharrun lakum. Sometimes you love something which is evil for you. Sometimes you despise something which is actually khair for you. And therefore don't ask for ashya in tubda lakum tasu. Don't ask for things. If they were revealed to you, they will end up harming you and hurting you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what to give. Do you not know what your children want and what your children should get? Our children come up to us, they ask for everything. Do you go ahead and give them everything? My child comes and says, Dad, can I stay out till 11 o'clock? I said, no, you can't. You have to come home at 9 or 8, whatever the case may be. No, it's a weekend night. Can I go to... Or the example that I gave you last night. You stop them from doing these things. Why? Do you hate them? No. The opposite. Because you love them. The fact that you love them, you deprive them of some things. But how does the child feel? If he's given a curfew that he cannot stay out longer than 9 o'clock. Or if he shows up late, the dad is waiting for him and he's going to punish him. He'll get grounded, for example. Or some of his privileges will be taken away from him. How does he feel? He thinks that my dad hates me. My mom hates me. They don't like me. That's why they're depriving me of all of these things. Exactly is how you and I feel. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rejects our dua, He does not give us what we wanted, and instead He gives us something else. And lastly, our second Imam, Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba alayhi salatu wasalam said,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali.
That Allah accepts our dua, but He delays giving it to us until the day of judgment. In Qayamat. And then Imam added a sentence. He said the compensation for your dua on the day of judgment is so high that if people realized it, they would say, oh Allah, don't let any of our duas be accepted in this world. Let all of our duas be accepted in the hereafter. We'd wait for the hereafter and have all our duas accepted, because the compensation over there is beyond our imagination. You know, it's very difficult to compensate for good and bad in this world. I'll give you an example. Someone who commits a crime of killing a person. What is the maximum punishment you can give that person? Capital punishment, right? Death penalty. That's the worst that could happen. What if someone killed 100 people? What is the worst thing, or the best compensation, or the biggest punishment for that person is? Same. Death penalty. Is the crime of these two individuals same? Is the crime of someone who killed one person equal to the crime of Saddam Hussein who killed thousands and thousands? No. Both have committed a crime and sin. But even my rationale, my little mind will be able to say that this person who killed one man has done wrong, but this person who killed 1,000 has done superior wrong. There's no comparison between the two crimes. Yes, both have taken life, but one has taken 1,000 lives. But how do you treat both of them in this world? The same way. You give them both the death penalty. Is this justified? Well, justified according to our worldly measures. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there's no justification for what you get here. The best justification will be given you in the hereafter. The death penalty does not serve justice for both of these individuals. Over there, they will receive the punishment proper, which is for them. Similarly, when you do something good, sometimes there's no compensation for you in this world. And therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delays paying you until the day of judgment when it's more appropriate. Salawat bi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So we see how Rasulullah, when he recited these ayat, people were saying what? They were saying that you are majnoon, you are insane. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is consoling him. He said, وَمَا أَنْتَ بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ بِمَجْنُونَ. By the mercy of Allah, by the ni'mat of Allah, you are not insane, O Holy Prophet. My question is, what is the connection between qalam and majnoon? Why is it that right after qalam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to the Holy Prophet and saying majnoon? Or these people used to call you majnoon. It's probably a prophecy. This is an event which will take place in future. That Rasulullah will be on his deathbed and he will ask, bring me a pen and a piece of paper. أَكْتُبْ لَكُمْ شَيْئًا لَن تَضِلُّوا بَعْدِي or لَا تَضِلُّوا بَعْدِي. That I write something for you by which you will never go astray. And this is where a person raised his voice and he said, Hasbuna kitabullah. Innahu inna rajul la yahjur. That unfortunately the words that I have to translate, this man, his illness has taken over him and he is saying and speaking insanely. And Rasulullah said to them, Qumu anni. Get up and leave from me. I don't want this commotion over my head. I'm on my deathbed. Rasulullah wanted to write something. What could he have done? What could he have written that this person was so scared of that he created all this commotion? God knows. But it is definitely that he did not want Rasulullah to pen down any of the last of the wills. Do you not think it is appropriate that we should ask for the will of a person leaving this world? Instead of depriving him of leaving a will and then assuming what Rasulullah would have said and assuming what Rasulullah would not have said. And hence we find this is the connection that in this ayah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already prophesied about, saying wal qalam wa ma yasturun, by the pen and that which you ascribe with this pen, O Prophet, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you're not majnoon, as people are claiming and calling you to be majnoon. Even when you are sick, you're not majnoon, but people will think that way. Salawat bi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So qalam is very important, brothers and sisters. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking an oath by this qalam. You see, that qalam is something which connects the past with present. जो माजी को मुजारे से और माजी को हाल से मिला दे. That which connects the past with present. How? If it wasn't for this qalam and all the tawarikh and the history that was written down, good or bad, false or true, we would not know what happened in the past. We would not know about the history. It is because of the virtue of this qalam that we have these books of history and fiqh and aqaid and akhlaq, that we today know what happened, 14 centuries ago in Islam. What transpired, what were the events that took place, it is due to this qalam. And that's why the Holy Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, فَتُوزَنُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ مِدَادُ الْعُلَمَاءِ مَعَ دِمَاءِ الشُّعَدَاءِ. That on the day of judgment, these two things will be weighed in the balance of weight. Midadul ulama, ink, the pen of ulama, with what? Dima'u shuhada, with the blood of the martyrs. فَيَرْجِحُ دِمَا مِدَادُ الْعُلَمَاءِ عَلَى دِمَاءِ الشُّهَدَاءِ. But that which will be more weighty, will have more weight, will be heavier, is the midad of ulama over the dima of shuhada. Yes, the martyr and the blood of the martyr is so dear that one blood of the martyr that drops on the ground, what does it do? It wipes out all of his sins. Not only his sins, but sins of his relatives as well in some riwayat. That's how important a shaheed is. Therefore, shaheed is someone who's alive. Bal ahya'un inda rabbihim. But you do not know. So much merit for a shaheed. Yet Rasulullah is saying, when you compare the two things, the qalam of an alim and the blood of a martyr, the qalam of the alim will be heavier than the blood of the martyr. Because the blood of the martyr probably served in order to go ahead and give sacrifice, but the qalam may be able to divert the entire situation. May there no war takes place at all, and therefore could be a matter of peace. The same peace that Imam Hasan al-Mushtaba was trying to establish, although he knew what is the reality going to be. So here we find how important this qalam is, that this qalam should not be underestimated. The third ayah in this reference says that مَا أَنْتَ بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ بِمَجْنُونَ وَإِنَّ لَكَ لَأَجْرًا غَيْرَ مَمْنُونَ. O Prophet, we have for you an ajr, a reward غَيْرَ مَمْنُونَ, which is everlasting, which will never end. What kind of ajr is he speaking of? You know, Rasulullah, for 23 years, he provided this guidance, hardship to deliver the message as is, without any change in it. It's very important. That's how you become Ameen and Sadiq. That you do not misplace even the one word from it. And that's what our belief is. That Rasulullah provided and delivered exactly how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed unto him. Right? 23 years of hard work. Do you think anyone has the ability to pay him back for what he did? No. People said, Rasulullah, how can we take care of you? He said, my ajr is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will give me ajr. But when they insisted, Allah revealed this ayah. قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. Or Rasulullah asked them, if they're so insisting on giving you something, compensating for your hard work, then ask them this. I ask nothing from you as compensation, as ajr. But ajr risalat is mawaddata fil qurba. Then make sure that you show mawaddat and love to my family members, to my household. That's the only thing that I ask you of. We see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not use the word mahabbata fil qurba. There's a difference between the word mahabbat and mawaddat. It's unfortunate that in our language, in English, we all translate both words, mawaddat and mahabbat, as what? As love. But they have difference between the two. Mahabbat is something which happens on its own. Mawaddat is something which is done intentionally. You see a good, scenery. You visit a beautiful city. You see someone's face, a beautiful face, you fall in love with it. It happens on its own. Without, involuntarily it happens. Mawaddat is on the contrary. You fall in love? No. You make an intention to fall in love. Muhabbat is something which may change after a while. Tomorrow you'll see an even more beautiful face. So you'll start loving that person. You'll see even a more beautiful city. You start loving that city. You'll see even a more beautiful scenery. You start loving that scenery. What happened to the previous one? Oh, this is better. Muhabbat changes as time goes by. In fact, sometimes muhabbat turns into nafrat. People who loved one another, differences came about and they started hating one another. What happened? But mawaddat is different. Mawaddat, as the time passes, murur zaman, it only increases, there's no decreasing as far as mawaddat is concerned. And that is the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. I ask nothing from you except what? Except mawaddat and love for my household. But what kind of love did they present? How did they treat the holy household of the Holy Prophet? Inshallah, we'll get to that as well. I just want to translate the last ayat and inshallah bring you toward Masa'ib. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. That indeed you are at the highest standard of morality. O Rasul, you are sent with the highest morals and ethical values. And that's why the Holy Prophet says, إِنِّي بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. The fact that I've been raised is because so that I may perfect the akhlaq for you, the ethics for you, the morality for you. And so you find how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed His Prophet at the highest level of morality. And that's why you find it is unheard of the things that the Holy Prophet did or he said. He says, أَلَا أُخْبِرُكُمْ بِخَيْرِ خَلَائِقِ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Do you want me to inform you of the best of the akhlaq of this world and the hereafter? Companion said, yes, Rasulullah. Bale, Naam, we want to hear. Rasulullah says, Al-afwu amman zalamaka. Take these words and tell this to non-Muslims. That this is what the Holy Prophet is stood for. This is what he said. He said, Al-afwu amman zalamaka. He said, forgive the one who has done injustice to you. Forgive the one who has done zulm to you. Forgive the one who has been oppressive to you. Where do you find these teachings? You find these teachings in the teachings of the Holy Prophet. He said, Al-afwu amman zalamaka. And then he continued by saying, Wal al-wasl. And then go ahead and connect with those man qata'aka. Connect your ties with those who have disconnected the ties with you. That means what? Do sila rahmi, even with those who have severed ties with you. Al-ihsanu man asa ilayka. Be kind to the one who has been so unkind to you. You don't have to be kind to the person who's kind to you. Anyone can do that. Be kind to the person who's been unkind to you. Tell these people that these are the true teachings of Islam. And lastly, the Holy Prophet says, وَالْعِتَاءُ مِلِمَنْ حَرَمَكَ. Then provide to the person who has deprived you. You think if someone deprived me of my right, am I going to be any nice to that person? Well, according to Islam and the teachings of the Holy Prophet, you should be. If someone deprived me of my rights, I'm going to be their staunch enemy. No, that's not what Islam says. Islam says, if someone deprived you, you should not deprive them back in return. These are the teachings of the Holy Prophet. That's why he was at the highest level of morality. You know, one tradition from the sixth Imam, inshallah, I'll conclude. He said, خَيْرٌ مَا وَرَّثَ الْآبَاءُ الْأَبْنَاءَ. What is the best thing parents and aba or ajdad can leave for their progeny? Wealth, property, status, fame, worldly things? Imam said no. He said, خَيْرٌ مَا وَرَّثَ الْآبَاءُ الْأَبْنَاءِ. The best which a father, a mother, a grandfather could leave for their progeny, al-adab. The best of the inheritance is adab. That if you can teach adab to your children, that is the best inheritance that will come around and help you even when you are gone. And that's why Sixth Imam continued by saying, imagine if you had 2 days left in your life. What would you do? How would you spend the last 2 days of your life? I know how I would spend my last 2 days. I don't know about you. My schedule will be upside down. You know, things that are sitting on the priority list of my list of priorities, I think I'll flip the priority list if I only had 2 days left in my life. Because on top of my priority list is what? Things which don't really concern, which don't really happen, which don't really need. I don't really need them. But I do them anyway because I'm so fond of it. But if I knew that I only have 2 days left in my life, I will turn that list around. All you'll see me is find me on musalla, doing dua, making dua, and forgetting about all the other things that I may have or had to do in my life. Travel plans, cancel them. Game I had to watch, cancel that. You know, this or that, visiting this place or that place, cancel that. I have only 2 days left, 48 hours. I want to spend and dedicate this time only worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asking for tawbah and repentance. Isn't that the case? At least that's how I would be. Imam said, if you had 2 days left in your life, how should you spend it? And then Imam said, spend the first day learning adab and spend the second day practicing adab. You do these two things, that is the best way you can spend your last 2 days of the life. Now we know, alhamdulillah, we have more than 2 days left in our lives, inshallah. Nobody knows when their demise will be. But we know, inshallah, we're more than 2 days away. Therefore, start doing this. Start learning adab and teaching adab to the children and start practicing it as soon as possible. Don't delay it until it becomes very late. And that's how the life of the Holy Prophet was. He was embodiment of akhlaq. You know, in fact, our second Imam was also referred to as, if you wanted to look at aql, intellect, kan al-aql, al-Hasan, Imam Hasan would be like the embodiment of aql, embodiment of intellect. So this is where we see both of these personalities who left this world in these days, they were at the peak as far as the akhlaqiyat are concerned. And that's why, brothers and sisters, You could be a practicing Muslim. You could have the solid beliefs. But if you are lacking akhlaq, those beliefs and those actions, those ahkam will not serve you as well. If I am very practicing, if I have solid beliefs, but I have zero akhlaq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need these ahkam from me. He does not need this belief system from me. In fact, He wants me to have these akhlaqiyat to top all of these beliefs and the ahkam that I follow. And when the time came for the Holy Prophet, that he announced in that last khutbah, which was khutbah Ghadir, he said, very soon I will be leaving from you. I will no longer be alive. There was a message that was delivered at that point. I'll just mention this one message because you've been sitting here for so seriously before we get to the Masaib. And that message was what? بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ. O Prophet, convey that which has been revealed unto you. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. And if you do not convey that, it's as if you have not delivered anything at all. وَاللَّهُ يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. And Allah will protect you from the shar and the evil of the people. My question, what is it that Prophet has to deliver that he did not, if he didn't do all of the 23 years of hard work, in my words, go down the drain, will be wasted? What is it that Rasulullah has to deliver that if he doesn't deliver, it is as if he has not delivered anything at all? And why is it that Allah is saying that Allah will protect you from the evil of the people? Where is this ayah being revealed? This ayah being revealed in the place called Ghadir. This ayah is being revealed when Rasulullah is accompanied by Muslimin, and on top of that, those who have done Hajj with the Holy Prophet. So there aren't just ordinary Muslimin. There's some mu'mineen in them as well. And therefore Allah is saying, وَاللَّهُ يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. Why? If he had said, وَاللَّهُ يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ in Makkah, it would make sense because he was surrounded by who? The kuffar and mushrikeen. Why over here, when all of them are Muslims and all of them are Haji? Allah would respond by saying that when we said to the Holy Prophet in Makkah, explain Tawheed, convey Tawheed, do the tabligh of Tawheed, he did not say Allah will protect you. He said the protector is with you. Convey Nabuwwat, the protector is with you. Convey the Risalat, the protector is with you. Convey the Ma'ad, the protector is with you. Explain Jihad, the protector is with you. Give all of these messages, the protector is with you. But today the message that the Holy Prophet has to say is about that protector. That today, O Rasul, deliver the wilayat of Ali. If you don't deliver it, as if you have not delivered anything. Wallahu ya'asimuka minan nas. He can't say, go deliver the wilayat of Ali and Ali will protect you. No. It doesn't make sense for the same person for whom the wilayat is being delivered to go ahead and stand up and defend himself. He said, now, because it's the scenario where Ali's wilayat is being announced, Allahu ya'asimuka minan nas. Allah will protect you from the shar and the evil of the people. Salawat bi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And in that khutbah, Rasulullah, when he announced, Man kuntu mawla, fahada aliyun mawla, he knew that there will be people who will question this. And therefore it was difficult. And Rasulullah started out by saying that I will not be amongst you for too long. My time has come, my demise is about to happen. Some of our scholars write in the history that Rasulullah was poisoned, that a Jewish lady had prepared some food, delivered it, and it was poisoned, and that food became the cause and the reason for the demise of the Holy Prophet. And that is further proven by the hadith of Imam, which says that we are either martyred or we are either poisoned. And Rasulullah was also amongst those who was poisoned. And if you leave this world in an unnatural way, then that is considered to be shahadat, and that is considered to be martyrdom. So it's okay if someone says wafat of Rasulullah, or if someone says shahadat of Rasulullah, because sometimes the concept of shahadat is inside the word wafat, And likewise, when you use the word shahadat, you have not underestimated, because Rasulullah did leave this world in the state where he was killed. And hence we find how difficult it must have been for the family of the Holy Prophet, especially his daughter, Janab Sayyidah, who's sitting with the Holy Prophet in this last days of his illness, that she's sitting with her father, and she's looking after the father. And that is the reason she had gained this title of Ummu Abiha. She was called the mother of her father, because she took care of her father after her mother was not alive, as if a mother is taking care. And Rasulullah would give the same importance as you would give to your mothers. That whenever Janab Sayyidah would walk in and Rasulullah was sitting down, he will stand up from his place. Not only that he will stand up out of respect, he will place Fatimatul Zahra in his place to sit down. This is the respect that the Holy Prophet had given Fatimatul Zahra. But only he knew that after my wafat, after I leave this world, this Fatimatul Zahra, her door will be struck, the door will be brought down, she would be struck and pressed between the wall and the door. The baby in the womb of Fatima Mohsin will be martyred. Ajrukum Allah. Janab Sayyidah is sitting by her father, tending for him, and there's a knock on the door. She says, "Oh man, go away, my father is not feeling well." The man knocks again. She says the same thing. With the third time, when the knock was heard, Rasulullah opened his eyes. He said, "Oh Sayyidah, oh my beloved daughter, this is not an ordinary person. This person does not need any permission to enter any household. This is Malakul Maut, who's coming out of respect, knocking on the door. So you let him in, because he has to come, and he has to take my soul away." Rasulullah was saying this to Sayyidah, and then he whispered something in her ears. She was feeling saddened by all of this, that my father will not be alive anymore. But Rasulullah brought her ear close, and he said something and whispered, which made Fatmatul Zahra smile. When she smiled, later ladies inquired, "What was it that the Holy Prophet said to you?" She said, "My father on those last moments said to me, 'Oh my daughter, although you are very sorrowed and saddened by my demise, but let it be known that you will be the first one to come and meet me.'" Hearing these words, which were basically a news for her own shahadat, Janab Sayyidah became excited. She smiled for her own death, with the thought that she will be the first one to visit and meet Rasulullah. Ajrukum Allah. After Rasulullah left this world, when he left this world, Sayyidah would weep, Sayyidah would cry. People of Medina complained, "Oh Ali, tell your wife, tell Sayyidah to appoint a time when she would cry, not to cry all day long." Amir al-Mu'mineen comes, he says to Janab Sayyidah, "Oh Sayyidah, people are saying, ask Sayyidah to appoint a time when she will cry." Janab Sayyidah responded, "Oh Abu Hasan, tell them that I will not be amongst them for too long. One thing. Second, build me Baytul Husn in Jannatul Baqi, where I would go and weep from away from these people, so they would not be disturbed." Ali built this Baytul Huzn. For the next couple of months, Janab Sayyidah would take Hasan and Hussein, Zainab and Kulthum. She would go to the grave of the Holy Prophet, and she would weep for her father. She would weep every single day, and this continued until her own shahada takes place. I would say, "Oh Fatima, it is said that your father, who's Khatimul Anbiya, who's Sayyidul Mursaleen, who left this world in this way, it is difficult for you. But at least Ali built you Baytul Husn, so you can weep and cry over there. But come to Karbala, and come to Kufa, and come to Sham. There's a 4-year-old daughter of Hussein, that every time that she wants to weep, they slap her on the face." At least the people of Medina weren't so disrespectful that they only complained you should pick a time. At least they did not hurt you or harm you physically. But whenever Sakina would cry, looking at the head of her father raised on the spear, they would strike her with their hands. They would strike her with Taziana. And this is how Janab Sakina would face. This is how difficult it would be for her. Then when when you hear when a 4-year-old is crying, saying, Baba, Baba, you should place the hand out of respect and compassion because it's only a 4-year-old. When Yazid heard that the daughter of Hussein is crying, he said, what does she want? He said, Father, she's saying, Baba. Yazid sends the head of Imam Hussein. The head of Hussein was brought. It was placed in this dish which was covered. Zanab Sakina said, I'm not hungry at this moment. I want my Baba. And then when they removed this rumal from it, they removed this handkerchief from it, she saw the head of Imam Hussein. She picked it up and put it close to her chest. And she started crying. The wailing raised, oh Baba, where are you? The entire prison filled with the women, they started weeping. And while everybody was busy weeping, this 4-year-old daughter of Hussein left this world. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Allah, please accept our ibadah tonight or today. Allah, please give us the ability to follow the teachings and the commands of Masumeen alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah, give us the tawfiq and ability to act on the commands of the Holy Prophet. Allah, hasten the reappearance of our weighted Imam. Make us amongst the helpers and the soldiers of Imam. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Matam Hussein.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein.
حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا 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 دو فاطمہ یتیم کو پرسا رسول کا دو فاطمہ یتیم کو پرسا رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا بے حال ہے رسول کی دکھتر حسینیوں بے حال ہے رسول کی دکھتر حسینیوں بے حال ہے رسول کی دکھتر حسینیوں دو فاطمہ یتیم کو پرسا رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا سر کو جھکائے روتی ہے بابا کی سوگوار سر کو جھکائے روتی ہے بابا کی سوگوار سر کو جھکائے روتی ہے بابا کی سوگوار زہرا کی موت ہو گئی مرنا رسول کا زہرا کی موت ہو گئی مرنا رسول رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا رونا وہ سیدہ کا وہ کہنا حسین کا رونا وہ سیدہ کا وہ کہنا حسین کا رونا وہ سیدہ کا وہ کہنا حسین کا اماں پتہ بتائیے نانا رسول کا اماں پتہ بتائیے نانا رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے ہیں جنازہ رسول کا جاتے ہو چھوڑ کر ہمیں نہ جا کہاں جاتے ہو چھوڑ کر ہمیں نہ جا کہاں جاتے ہو چھوڑ کر ہمیں نہ جا کہاں کہتا ہے رو کے چھوٹا نواسا رسول کا کہتا ہے رو کے چھوٹا نواسا رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے جنازہ رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے جنازہ رسول کا دو فاطمہ یتیم کو پرسا رسول کا دو فاطمہ یتیم کو پرسا رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے جنازہ رسول کا حیدر اٹھا رہے جنازہ رسول کا
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein.
شبیر کو راہ غربت میں شبیر کو راہ غربت میں نانا کا جو روزہ یاد آیا شبیر کو راہ غربت میں شبیر کو راہ غربت میں نانا کا جو روزہ یاد آیا کچھ ماں کی محبت یاد آئی کچھ ماں کی محبت یاد آئی بابا کا زمانہ یاد آیا شبیر کو راہ غربت میں شبیر کو راہ غربت میں نانا کا جو روزہ یاد آیا ماں کی محبت یاد آئی کچھ ماں کی محبت یاد آئی بابا کا زمانہ یاد آیا شبیر کو راہ غربت میں ہاتھوں سے جگر کو تھام لیا اور سب کو جھکا کر بیٹھ گئے جب اپنی مریضہ بیٹی کا جب اپنے مریضہ بیٹی کا اترا ہوا چہرہ یاد آیا شبیر کو راہ غربت میں شبیر کو راہ غربت میں نانا کو جو روزہ یاد آیا شبیر کو راہ غربت میں وہ بنت علی کی مایوسی وہ عباس کی کوشش یاد آئی، عباس کی کوشش یاد آئی، زینب کا وہ پردہ یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، نانا کا جو روزہ یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، زینب کو دکھانے سوکھی زبان آئی تھی مگر خاموش رہی، جب زینب کو دکھانے سوکھی زبان آئی تھی مگر خاموش رہی، پیاس اپنی سکینہ بھول گئی، پیاس اپنی سکینہ بھول گئی، بے شیر جو پیاسا یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، نانا کا جو روزہ یاد آیا، کچھ ماں کی محبت یاد آئی، کچھ ماں کی محبت یاد آئی، بابا کا زمانہ یاد آیا، جو کربلا میں گزری تھی، جو کربلا میں گزری تھی، سب بھول گئے یہ یاد رہا، عابد نے کلیجہ تھام لیا، عابد نے کلیجہ تھام لیا، جس وقت بھی کوفہ یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، نانا کا جو روزہ یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، لو صبح کا دامن چاک ہوا، اکبر کی اذان نے چونکایا، یہ پوچھ لے کس کی ہمت ہے، یہ پوچھ لے کس کی ہمت ہے، شبیر کو کیا کیا یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، نانا کا جو روزہ یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، ہاتھوں سے جگر کو تھام لیا اور سر کو جھکا کر بیٹھ گئے، ہاتھوں سے جگر کو تھام لیا اور سر کو جھکا کر بیٹھ گئے، جب اپنے مریضہ بیٹی کا، جب اپنے مریضہ بیٹی کا اترا ہوا چہرہ یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، نانا کا جو روزہ یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، نانا کا جو روزہ یاد آیا، کچھ ماں کی محبت یاد آئی، کچھ ماں کی محبت یاد آئی، بابا کا زمانہ یاد آیا، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، شبیر کو راہ غربت میں، یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین،
حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا، حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا، حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا، آئیں گی جب فاطمہ، آئیں گی جب فاطمہ، حال پریشان دیکھنا، حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا روبرو بابا کے جب خاتون جنت آئیں گی خالی جھولی سرورے کونین کو دکھلائیں گی بالیقین تھرائے گا بالیقین تھرائے گا محشر کا میدان دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا رکھ دیا برچھی نے اکبر کا کلیجہ چیر کے رخ بدل ڈالے ہیں امت نے تیری تصویر کے مالک کوثر ذرا مالک کوثر ذرا امت کے احسان دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا اصغر معصوم کے لب پہ سوال آس ہے بوند پانی کے لیے وہ کس قدر بےتاب ہے نہر سے پانی نہیں نہر سے پانی نہیں دیتے مسلمان دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا زینب و کلثوم سے کہتا تھا شمر بدگہر شام کو جاؤ گی ننگے سر پھرو گی در بدر کربلا کے بعد اب کربلا کے بعد اب تاریخ زندہ دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا حشر میں رنگ لائے گا خون شہیداں دیکھنا
حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا ہم دیتے ہیں پرسات تمہیں فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا ہم دیتے ہیں پرسات تمہیں فاطمہ زہرا ہم دیتے ہیں پرسات تمہیں یا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا ہم دیتے ہیں پرسات تمہیں یا فاطمہ زہرا عباس جو لشکر کے تھے سرور کے علمدار عباس جو لشکر کے تھے سرور کے علمدار دریا پہ اسے قتل کیا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا ہم آئے ہیں پرسے کے لیے فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا ہم آئے ہیں پرسے کے لیے فاطمہ زہرا پامال کیا قاسم بے کس کی لاش کو پامال کیا قاسم بے کس کی لاش کو کبرا کو بھی بیوہ کیا یا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا ہم آئے ہیں پرسے کے لیے فاطمہ زہرا ہم دیتے ہیں پرسات تمہیں نو محمد کا، ہم دیتے ہیں پرسات تمہیں نو محمد کا، اور اصغر بے شیر کا یا فاطمہ زہرا، صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا، صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا، ہم آئے ہیں پرسے کے لیے فاطمہ زہرا، کانوں سے سکینہ کے اتارے گئے گوہر، کانوں سے سکینہ کے اتارے گئے گوہر، زینب سے بھی چھینی ہے ردا فاطمہ زہرا، صلوات زہرا، بیڑی پنائی دوہری بدن زخمی کر دیا، بیڑی پنائی دوہری بدن زخمی کر دیا، سجاد پہ یہ ظلم کیا فاطمہ زہرا، صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا، صلوات و سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا، ہم آئے ہیں پرسے کے لیے فاطمہ زہرا، ہم آئے ہیں پرسے کے لیے فاطمہ زہرا، سلام آپ پہ یا فاطمہ زہرا، یا حسین
السلام علیکم یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیکم یا نبی اللہ، السلام علیکم یا حبیب اللہ، السلام علیکم یا خیرۃ اللہ، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیکم یا ابا عبد اللہ وعلی الارواح التي حلت بفنائک، علیک منی سلام اللہ ابدا ما بقیت وبقی اللیل والنہار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم، السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء، السلام عليك يا الشمس الشموس وأنيس النفوس، أيها المدفون بأرض طوس، علي بن موسى رضا ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك، وجعلنا من أعوانك وانصارك ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
نعرہ حیدری
Feeling better?
I have to stop it. I brought, I checked my bag and I happened to have it. I thought I wouldn't have it. I had it. Yeah, I'm telling
Connecting.